Aloha! You're listening to Body Worship, an oasis for the mind, a temple for the body, a sanctuary for the soul. I'm Anna Marie, and welcome to my podcast, where we explore the most cutting-edge alternative modalities, ancient rituals, and sacred practices that shaman, yogis, and healers from all corners of the world have practiced to deeply connect with Source. We'll discuss ways to advocate extreme self-care and align your emotional, mental, and spiritual mind, body, and soul. Thanks for tuning in to Body Worship. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you right now. I just want to thank you for tuning into my pilot program, and I want to thank you for your presence. So I thought it would be a really good idea for my first podcast to take a moment, really go into who I am, introduce myself, talk about the journey I've been on, and what inspired me to create Body Worship. Also, what is body worship and where am I going with this? And how can you engage with me each week and how can you have an interactive experience? Okay, so first of all, let me just explain. This is not going to be like your typical YouTube video or podcast where you just, sit back and listen. Yes, of course you're going to be listening, but I'm going to invite you to engage and interact so that you take this time to really advocate extreme self-care. That's what body worship is all about. So each week, you will be stepping into a virtual temple, if you will. We're going to create a sacred space around you. In a moment here, I'm going to have you do a quick meditation where you are tapping into your higher self and you are asking your soul, what do I need in this moment? I want you to create an evocative environment and a sacred atmosphere every single week when you listen to the podcast. When we go into meditation, you may get an answer that you need a cup of jasmine tea, maybe have some spa water, or you get, oh my gosh, you know what? I want to burn my favorite candle or my favorite incense or atomize my favorite essential oils. Or you know what? Maybe you think you want to take a bubble bath and you want a glass of wine or you want to go out underneath the stars if it's not too cold and listen to me. So whatever it is that your soul is calling out for, once we do the meditation, we're going to pause. You're going to create that atmosphere around you. And then each week, I'm going to invite you to do that. I also, before we get started, want to encourage you to get a journal, get a body worship journal, because this is about you tuning into yourself. We are going through some really tumultuous times right now. And energetically, we're shifting into a completely different frequency. Where we're at in the universe, we are going through the photon belt. We are raising the frequency of Mother Earth, and we are raising our own frequency. And so it is absolutely imperative that we take time to advocate extreme self-care so that we can be at our highest potential and so that we can really listen to ourselves. Okay, so that's what this is all about. Every week we're going to be doing some really exciting things. I'm going to have some incredible interviews that we're going to be conducting, and you're really going to be meeting just some of the best people in self-care and also in energetics. We're going to be looking at all these different alternative methodologies and practices. But right now, I want you to create the atmosphere around you that you need in order to be able to really embody the information that you're going to be getting, not just tonight, but every week. Okay? Make sure that you are in a really comfortable position. So if you need to stop the podcast so you can do this quick meditation, go ahead and pause that for now. Just make sure that you're sitting upright or lying or, whatever is really going to create the body awareness and the relaxation that you need in order to be able to do this meditation. So we're going to create a holographic field, and I'm going to lead you through a very quick guided meditation in order to invite you into this resonance field so that you can create some intentionality around this. The first thing I want you to do is take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you are breathing deeply in through your nose, I want you to visualize the color blue. Okay, just oxygenating every inch, every cell, every atom of your body. And then as you exhale through your mouth, I want you to exhale red, getting rid of any tension, any stuck energy. All right. Really quickly, I want you to tense up every area of your body, including your face. Scrunch up your face, your toes, tense up your knuckles, your fingers, your shoulders, your legs, your buttocks, your calves, your stomach. Tense, 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 as tense as you can get, and then release, okay? The next time you do that, I want you to breathe in and tense up your entire body, breathing in that beautiful blue, oxygenating, tense, 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 and then exhale, red, a fire breath. Let's begin by tuning in. Keep your eyes closed and just breathe. Just breathe. I'm going to give you a moment to arrive. You're shifting out of your everyday thoughts, everyday learning, everyday consciousness. You're now shifting into sacred learning and into sacred consciousness, into sacred teaching, into the temple of your own becoming. Let your spirit settle. Allow your soul to arrive. Now, scan your body and pay attention to the messages that your body temple is emitting. Drop your shoulders, open your heart, and just listen. Now, bring your attention to the area that feels constricted or clustered or tense. Anything that feels congested, just direct your breath to those areas. Direct love and nurturing to the areas of chaos that are in your body. Just take your breath there with no judgment. Now exhale any fear, any judgment, anxiety, anything that feels stuck. So whatever your system is sending out to you, observe with no judgment and just direct compassionate energy there. Become aware of your breath and breathe in a beautiful aqua blue breath through your nose and exhale all the tension with the red fire energy. Exhale through your mouth. Now ask yourself, what is your soul needing in this moment? Allow yourself to intuit. Allow yourself to ventilate. What does your soul need in this moment? Now, if you've not got the answer, feel free to pause the podcast and we're going to take a quick break so that you can go and arrange whatever atmosphere you want to create for yourself. And we'll be right back. Okay, and welcome back. And so are you in your favorite comfy chair? Do you have your favorite quilt or throw? Maybe you've got a glass of wine. Whatever ambience you created to enact this gesture of self-acknowledgement and really consecrate the space around you as a sanctuary of peace is the single most important practice that you can take each day. Let me clarify. So it can be the smallest whisper from your soul, like, I need to take a 15-minute break and go for a walk. Or, hey, I need to call a friend. I just need some support right now. Or maybe you love drawing or painting. Whatever it may be, by you caring for your energetic and physical world, you are literally building telemeters in your brain that send a message which rewires your outer condition, and you're nurturing positive baseline habits that foster self-compassion, growth, and sovereignty. And if you make a habit of committing to just one act a day of self-love, each day you will begin to up-level and shift your DNA. And that self-love could be, I am going to disconnect. I'm going to stay home all weekend. I'm going to be in sweats, hair on top of the head, no makeup, messy bun, and Netflix and chill. I'm just unplugging. It could be that, or you could be completely radical and go to your favorite patisserie and have the most decadent chocolate torte with an incredible cappuccino. Whatever it is that you are needing to do, and that you're just listening to that whisper and you're acting upon it, is going to create a field around you that is one of self-love. And you want to see your world change really quickly. Start loving yourself more. Everybody around you will have to go up to that frequency. If you look at a room that is completely flooded with light, it's like the sun, okay? Right next to it, there's a door in that room. Right next to that is a room that is pitch black. You cannot see the hand in front of your face. If you open the door in between those two rooms, does the light room become any darker? No, it does not. And the reason is because light is a higher frequency than darkness. If you are taking care of yourself, listening to what your needs are on a daily basis, even if it's one small act a day, that is going to accumulate over time. And everybody in your field will have no choice but to either fall away, fall out of your life, or to raise up to the frequency that you're at. So if you keep a gratitude journal, either at the beginning or at the end of your day, write 5 things that you're grateful for, and you start looking for things that you're grateful for. Being in a state of gratitude is the quickest way to up-level your frequency. It is the quickest way to draw more blessings to yourself. The other reason you want to keep a journal is we are going to be having some incredibly rich content on these podcasts each week. I have some of the most amazing guests coming, as I hinted at at the beginning of the program. And you're going to want to write down the methodologies, the practices that they are talking about. And we're going to have everything from ancient practices all the way to modern technology, and developments that will really be able to enhance your life. The good thing about having a body worship journal is that on those days where you are completely stressed out from an in-law, from a relative, from a friend, from work, bills, whatever, and you just feel like you can't even cope, being able to go into that journal and being able to look at some of the different practices that we're going to be talking about will really help you to be able to just, okay, that's what I'm going to do, and commit and go. Because a lot of times when we're under stress, we're not thinking clearly. So this is a really great practice to be able to get into. All right, so each week, just make sure that you check in with yourself before the podcast and you ask yourself, okay, what is it that I need to really create the atmosphere that I had last time and to really consecrate this time. And we are not going to be doing meditations every week. We won't have time for it. So it's on you. You've got to check in, then create that atmosphere, bring your journal with you. That's how each of the podcasts will benefit you. How did I come up with body worship, and what exactly is body worship? First of all, body worship is about aligning your emotional, your spiritual, your mental, and your physical body so that you are functioning at your best ability at any space in time. While I was doing my undergraduate work in child psychology and psychology, it's the study of behavior. And as I started becoming more passionate about my spiritual path, what was making me wake up every single day was understanding the soul. So I really started tapping into the study of the soul. And I started aligning with and learning from teachers like Carolyn Mize, Greg Braden, Drunvalo Chilzdek, Gary Zukoff, Sonia Choquette, Dan Millman, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and many, many more masters who were focused on and tapped into the soul's progression and the soul's ascension. And my background as a holistic practitioner really was focused on more of the emotional component to why physical maladies happen, and also what is going on with the soul that is creating these habits in this person or creating this reaction in this person, and what is it about my soul that is creating this reality that I'm living in. And you know what? I started to notice that some of the most successful, loving, compassionate, some of the most spiritually attuned souls were souls that went through many more cycles of chaos. And we all go through, say, cycles of chaos, cycles of bliss. Chaos always precedes order. But I started noticing that the people who I really looked up to and clients and patients that I had that had the most positive outlooks on life were constantly faced with some of the most horrific challenges. And I actually kind of took comfort in that because I don't have a family that gives me a soft place to land. I have a best friend. Her name is Ellen. We've been best friends for 18 years, and my God, I do not know what I would do without her. But when you have yourself to depend on and you are going through challenges in life, you really have to figure out ways to be able to level set and to stay grounded and to really stay anchored. And that is what I did. So these podcasts, they're really distilled from the past 3 decades of all the work that I've done and where I got hit by different life cycles such as illness, injury, lack of prosperity, breakups, personal relationships, personal spiritual upheaval. There's many different things that we do as humans that really take us down. And my mentor, Ann Sadowski, says we are spirit beings crashing through the human experience. Some people float. I'm actually one of them that crashed through. And so these are the practices that really helped me to nurture and deepen my connection to myself and to really up-level my spiritual understanding. And so each podcast, I will present key concepts to you and foundational lessons of different modalities, sometimes presented by myself. Other times I'll bring in practitioners, shaman, medicine men and women. I'll bring in high priestesses, doctors, instructors, yogis that will really lay down a foundation that will, with each podcast, build upon itself so that you have a beautiful symphony and cacophony of methodologies that are going to allow you to be able to build your personal sanctuary and worship your mind, body, and soul. And that's an overview of the field that we're going to create each week. It's a holographic view of how we create that sacred space that truly allows for true body worship. I thank you for tuning in. The podcast will usually be about 30 minutes long, maybe a little bit over. I am going to be having some incredible guests on. So we're going to be talking about different rituals that are used going into the Amazonian jungle. We're going to be talking to guests about the plasma field. I'm going to be having Patty Greer on here and Stephen Sadlier, who owns the Self-Awareness Institute, and Joy Jackson, who is calls herself the Backyard Mystic. And I'm going to be talking to her about the importance of the correct environment in your gut for overall health. Dr. Tatiana Irvin, who is from Solutionary TV, Cindy Carter. She's an energy alchemist, and she is the creator of Template of Grace. Marcelo Ruiz, very good friend of mine. He's a Costa Rican shaman. He actually has an eco-friendly resort built on sacred geometry. Keith Allen, who is the founder of holographic light therapy. I use this light therapy all the time on myself and with my clients. It is absolutely incredible. And Michael Stone, who's a holotropic breathwork practitioner, and he is such a powerful practitioner. I really am looking forward to having him on the show. Then we have Astaria Lapuna, and she's a kambo practitioner. She did my kambo treatment from the Amazonian jungle with me. She studied with the Matse tribe. And Vera Lopez, she takes people on spiritual journeys to Peru, Brazil, Avalon, and she is also a very good friend of mine. And I think you will find Joy Ann Gold absolutely delightful. She is the founder of Ageless Revolution, teaching us how to age gracefully or grow young, as she says. And then a personal friend of mine, a practitioner who I worked with last summer, and she literally has the most mind-blowing methods and practices that she works with. Barbara Amelia Schaefer-Berdner. She's a multidimensional accelerator and light body integration practitioner. And I will just have to have her tell you about what she does. I'm telling you, it is absolutely life-altering. Altered my life, that's for sure. And then Astrid, she is a Jin Shin Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. We're also going to be speaking to Noam McBride. He's got some incredible superfoods, and he is really kind of an alchemist with food and superfoods and just an incredible spirit. But we're going to be covering, subjects like alkaline water, superfoods, aromatherapy, acutonics, alphabiotics, lots of different practices and modalities that really help to bring you back to center. And we also are going to have Ron Searchy. He has co-founded a new holistic wellness one-stop sourcing hub, if you will. So I'm excited to have him on here to talk about that. And then my personal mentor, who has a marketing and advertising agency in multifamily housing. She was my mentor. She changed my life. She is a motivational speaker. You are all going to get a very big kick out of her. She's just incredible. So we have an incredible lineup for you. And thank you so much for tuning in. I promise this is going to be life-changing if you just partake of even 2 or 3 of these modalities, and I am really looking forward to introducing you to each of these guests and also being able to introduce you to all of these incredible practices, therapeutic technologies, and disciplines. And I'm just so excited for what's to come. And I promise that each episode will be fun, fresh, innovative. And if you allow yourself to stretch, this very well could be life-changing for you. So that concludes tonight's episode. Be sure to check me out on my Facebook page, Body Worship Personal Coach, where you can schedule a first initial consultation for personal empowerment coaching, hypnotherapy, long distance, quantum healing, or any of the many services I offer. Join me next week to anoint your awareness with sacred knowledge and practices by tuning into another episode. I'm Anna Marie, and you've been listening to Body Worship, an oasis for the mind, a temple for the body, a sanctuary for the soul. Namaste.